Hello and welcome to Deuces. Today I'll be going over this mansion that I've created, my thought process, how I went about creating each detail, and overall just the kind of idea behind each process and every single part of the build. So make sure to like, subscribe, and enjoy the video. So as we look at the build, we notice four real major parts of this. Firstly, we have this first floor, which is made of a different material. The balconies here are also extremely noticeable as they stick out from each corner here. The two little stick parts that stick out of the front to try and give it some more shape, as well as the main building here in the back. So I'll be going over each part one by one. I will just be going around the outside. As you can see here, there's no interior. So first off, we're going to look at this first floor. This really was just kind of built to get the shape, and then I decided to build it up and use it to kind of get the rest of the build. Originally, these walls here, this accent here with the dark oak, this was originally spruce, and I did change it, knowing that I was going to do the spruce walls here, and I wanted it to kind of look different compared to these fences as well as the walls, as I feel like it works better than just having the same color wood as 90% of the build. But as you can see here, you'll kind of get a shape of it as I go above. You'll notice that there's kind of this box design in the middle, and then on the two parts that stick out, you'll notice that there's like these curves at the ends here in these dark oak spots for the second floor roofs. And then you can see where the balconies jut out. The balconies are also, like behind this wall here, there is room for the first floor as well. So they aren't just there to be balconies, there is room under there as well. So that is essentially it for the first floor. It was mostly just a shape and try and give it like a decent looking foundation. And also decided how I kind of decorated the rest of it with this dark oak. And just kind of helped get each side right and making sure I had each window or beam where I wanted it to be. Next up, we notice the balconies here. There's not much to say about it. It's just kind of the shape is very obvious when you look at it from above, and you can kind of notice it from here. It just keeps it from being just a flat corner there and kind of adds some more shape to it, which overall I think works better than just having that flat shape. Not a ton of just extra functionality, really just, more viewing from this side, same over there. Really its only purpose is to add shape to it, and that's why I cut it off after the first floor. Next up, we're going to look at the what I call the wings. Nothing super special. We have your normal built up kind of area here, but over here we have something kind of different. We have this kind of curved out part of the build. As you can see, I did try to kind of rotate it around and make it look curved at the end, just to try and give once again some more shape. And then the roof here to kind of give it like a semi-dome look to make it different from the rest of the roofs on the building, also using dark oak instead of the stone that I used for the other parts. The decorations here, obviously you can see, are a bit different to the normal ones because it has to fill more space, as there's no windows here because the roof of the second floor covers up that part. But this is kind of like a viewing area to go out, like maybe you put a bed here or something like that. And then same here, but more, storage, all that fun stuff with furnaces and all that. And that design is also carried over here. Exact same. It is basically just mirrored from that side over. Same texturing, same exact design, same roof, same viewing platform and curve. And as you can see, some of these logs actually don't jut out again due to how this roof ends and how this floor kind of cuts off after floor 2. So you can just see how each kind of bit of this decoration kind of determines where each floor starts and begins, which is good when you're trying to kind of count how many floors you have from outside, just to try and figure out what progress you've made, especially for me who's building all of it. So it's just really good to go over that every now and then just to make sure. And then finally, for the other main part, we have this major box design, and as you can see here, it is essentially just the main part of the build. 3 floors of this. Obviously, each floor connects to the wing. There's no interior because the outside took forever. The floors actually took longer because the floors are so insanely boring to fill in. But as you can see, it's very simple. Kept the design going until it hit the roof, which made it easier for me to kind of just cut it all off at one point. And as you can see, it's just very uniform while still being somewhat decorative, which is always good to have. That way it's kind of easy to recognize, as well as still give it kind of a good looking kind of idea. As I talked about with this roof earlier, I'm now going to talk about some of the other two roofs. Obviously the balcony does not have one, as it is just kind of almost like a foundation level. I've already gone over the dome roof of the second floor viewing platforms. But over here we have the curved roof design that I like to use. I did 3 things of slabs, 2 blocks, and then 2 things of slab as well here. And then just put some stairs down and the slab up here, and I did connect this all the way. And as you can see, I put the stair here to connect to this dark oak design again, as you can't fit you can't fit like half a fence here. I wish you could, but that's not an option with Minecraft. So that happens, and then this kind of stone brick wrap goes around this building, once again connects to the dark oak design, and carries all the way over to this roof over here, which is the exact same decoration, same blocks, same exact shape, same connectivity over to the dark oak decoration. And that once again will wrap around over here, and this wrap on the roof will go all the way around the build, because if I only did it around part of it, it would look like it cut off weird, and it just works better, especially when you have, so many layers. It works better to have that different color at some point. And that wraps all the way back around to this roof on the right wing. Similar design up here, although it's not really wrapping as much. It's just kind of basic. I'm not sure why my game is lagging so bad. It's weird. But as you can see, same exact design with the deep slate tiles and the stone brick stairs, slabs, blocks, all that. Same design, the same 3, 2, and then I did keep the slab pattern going for a little bit longer here just to make sure it made it to the middle, and then goes back down. So same kind of curve shape, although it is a little bit wider than these wings, as it is a larger box than the wings were. But overall very similar design. I did switch sides just to try and keep it from looking all like it's going in one direction. As you can see here, this one goes left to right, whereas the wing roofs go top to bottom over here when you're looking at it from the front angle. And if we go down here to the ground, you'll kind of see, you can't really see the front roof as well, but you can see the wing roofs from the front. But if we go all the way down here to the side, you can see that side roof a bit better, but you do lose the wing roofs. So overall, I think the front has the best view, obviously, because it is kind of the part you're supposed to look at the most. Now, next time I would probably add a little bit more decoration over here, because I feel like this wall here, and then actually the same thing up here, I feel like it's just a little bit bland, but I wasn't sure what to put there, and I didn't want to put like a shorter window because it would look weird compared to all the 4 high if I had like a 2 or a 3 high window over here. And also I'm just not sure if it would work. But with how the box is, with windows under every little beam slash spruce log, it kind of would make sense to have one here, but I did make sure to still texture it. That way it didn't look super awkward. But yeah, so that's it for the roofs. Finally, I'm going to go ahead and talk about the decoration that's around, obviously, every part of the building. I did talk a little bit about it when I was going over this first floor. But as you can see, I did use a majority of dark oak. It did get a little bit rough on these curved parts, just trying to make sure that it kind of looked natural and still had that kind of arch above the wall, or above the floor, just to make sure that each part connected correctly. There were a few different variations of this. There was versions with slabs, versions with trapdoors. This was usually a slab for a while, and then I decided to switch it to a stair just to make sure it kind of had that connection, and that ended up being what I went with. as it made the most sense in the terms of what I was trying to look for. And then over here, for the most part, I do have a very uniform use of the slabs and trapdoors and stairs and all that. Here I used a stair, a stair, a slab, 2 trapdoors, and then a slab and a stair again. And each time I would place the stripped log here everywhere where I wanted a beam, and then all the beams would continue up. The only time that the beam did not continue exactly from where it started would be this side, and that's really only seen on the top floor, because this beam is actually 1 block over from the beam on the other side, which is on this block here. And that was just from where I had created the balcony, and I hadn't really fully lined everything up. I was just kind of going, and didn't realize that until the end. So that ended up being, a little bit awkward, but not too noticeable, as it's on the side, and you can't really notice it from the interior. And even still, it kind of doesn't look too awkward, because it ends up working with 4 2-block windows instead of a 3 and then 3 2s, which would look really awkward. Obviously, back to this, we have the stair that is above the stripped log with a trapdoor on it to kind of cover that log texture or whatever. That's really just kind of the only reason I have the logs instead of just a normal oak block, is really just for these areas to make it look, like it's a beam coming out. And then on each side of the stair, we have slabs just to kind of give it a little bit more, make it look, I guess, a bit thicker, really, like it has more support. And that kind of leads up to the next one, and then the same thing up here until it ends. As you can see here on the bottoms, we have the stripped logs. Similar to the beams, these are only stripped logs because of the corners. There's got to be a corner. Yeah, here's a corner. Where you kind of get that texture, so it looks a bit more believable, instead of just having the plank texture, which looks a bit awkward. Even though it would probably look better with the fence, it doesn't make as much sense in the form of, like, what's more stable. For if you're going for realism. If you're just going for looks, then feel free to just put the planks down. But yeah, so basically you have the strip log with the trapdoors around it, the stair above it, and then the fence is connecting to the stair and the, once again, stripped dark oak log. And that's kind of the main design for most of this, but going back to the wrap part of the roof, you can see here when it goes over this part, there's actually a top half slab here. And because I did that, this design doesn't carry over, and it actually is replaced by the wraparound roof, which I think works a bit better, which also makes it easier for me to recreate at times. Obviously this fence goes all the way up and does not go up here because this is supposed to be a walkway, whereas this is just open. And then obviously the deep slate roof also is to connect with this beam to keep it from being awkward. So that design kind of carries around the deep slate tile stair once again, and actually the deep slate comes in one more time on this end and the other far end. And then that entire design wraps around all the way behind the back, with the fences going out of the stone brick stairs. And then actually that design comes in again on the roof, the top roof on the main building, and you can see these half slabs are still here, which keeps me from having to do that extra design. But on the end, you can see I bring the design back as there's no slabs coming across here as the roof comes up and then back down. So it does come back here. And then I actually also want to note that this design here, as you can see, it's a bit thicker than any of the rest of them. And that's because, like I said, I had to cover more space. And also I wanted to make it look like it really was kind of holding up this spot. And the reason I didn't do it on this back area is because the roof here was coming towards this wall instead of kind of leaning over this wall. So what I did was I just kind of kept that design and left this blank. But you can definitely do something there if you want to. I'm just not sure if I wasn't really able to come up with any ideas for it. But overall, that's going to be it for this mansion build. I may build the interior in the next 2 or so weeks and turn that into another video, but I probably won't, because I'm not great when it comes to interior, and I don't know if I have enough ideas to fill this entire massive building. So I'm going to go ahead and move on to the outro. Thank you everyone for watching this video, and make sure to subscribe if you want to see more videos like this in the future. I am actively trying to come up with any ideas, so if you have any ideas for a future video, please leave it in the comments. I do take a lot of inspiration from comments, as seen actually in the last video, which was the that Oceanside base with the wall designs, because someone had commented on the wall video that they wanted to see it. So if you want to see a certain build, just let me know in the comments. I do read all of them, so, well, at least all the ones I get notifications for. So I'll make sure to read it, and it may just end up being a video. So until then, deuces.